over the Phobia terror. And the winner of the Best Halloween Costume Trio contest is Rachel, Molly, and Gold Jordan as the fairies from Sleeping Beauty. Licking Shield as Liam switched the camera transition to while Zach's recording Stella doing an interview with the trio's winners. Stella here in the gym, bringing you Rachel, Molly, and Gold Jordan who won the contest. She smiled while turning to the trio, thrilled in delight. So girls, after weeks of picking the best trio costume, how does it feel to be the winners? Great as lovely flowers, Rachel in the green outfit smiled. Being fairies is so much more than being magical, Molly in the blue added. Okay, the point is, Gold Jordan in the red walking up to Stella, there's a lot more to Halloween costumes than being dressed as scary monsters. If you pick the right people for the trio, appearance makes the costumes better. During the interview, Lincoln, Clyde, and Liam are watching from the TV in the newsroom of the Action News team. Lincoln liked Gold Jordan's outfit, and so did his friends. With today being Halloween, he can't wait to spend the night with her friends. Good inspiration, Stella replied. It shows that contestants like these can exceed any expectations. Back to you, Lincoln and Clyde. Soon Lincoln took notice as he paid attention to the camera. Well, it has been a crazy few weeks for all of us, but tonight is Halloween, Clyde replied. Tonight will be a Halloween we'll never forget. This is Lincoln McCloud signing off. Lincoln wrapping it up. Have a happy Halloween, Lincoln McCloud cheered as Liam stopped recording. Well, that was a fun Action News team episode. Clyde, getting off his chair, knew this Halloween edition was a great idea. After the tons of contestant trios we've seen, it was more successful than just one contestant, Liam added. It was all Gold Jordan's idea. She didn't know how to dress with her friends just days before today. Lincoln straining his papers. I got to say, she's making this a lot better with these Action News team's ideas. Clyde walking up to Lincoln. Are you ready to go trick-or-treating with them? You bet, I'm dressing up as the amazing Braister for tonight. The door was pushed open, revealing Stella and the trio winners entering. We're here, Stella smiled with Gold Jordan along with her friends following from behind. Girls, Liam smiled. Congrats on winning the contest. Yeah, we are perfect as the three fairies, Molly replied. People will recognize us more than when we go trick-or-treating tonight. Never thought Halloween couldn't get any better, Rachel added. I love this costume. I know, watching that movie, purchasing these costumes just days earlier, everyone knew who to vote for, Gold Jordan said. It's weird because it's usually the scariest costumes that win, Zach coming in. It's just a Halloween costume contest, not a scary Halloween costume contest, Stella turned to Zach. And I doubt Principal Romandez would approve of the idea. Is that why she didn't leave her office? Clyde asked. Most of the costumes weren't that scary. Lincoln remembered the way Principal Romandez freaked out upon walking past her this morning. However, no one had their costumes on upon arriving at the school. The contestants didn't put on their costumes until 30 minutes before the contest started. Yeah. Also, has anyone seen Rusty? Zach took notice. I haven't seen him since yesterday. We had to let Zach record since Rusty isn't here, Stella said. Before they would come to a conclusion, Witchy turned his attention to the newsroom after walking through the hallways. Hey Action News team, he called for their attention. My friend is making an announcement at the cafeteria. As he left them with zero answers, Lincoln and the others looked at each other in confusion. They decided to take Witchy's car as they all headed to the cafeteria. Upon heading in, the entire lunchroom is covered in fog thanks to big fog machines from every direction. With jack-o'-lanterns and grim reapers surrounding the students, Stella and the others walked into the cafeteria, but Lincoln and Clyde didn't step in, shaking in fear. It's just decorated, right? Clyde hiding behind Lincoln. It was never this scary. How is this even allowed? As Stella and Girl Jordan look through the fog, they see a kid wearing a Grim Reaper costume while holding invitations in his hand. Would you like to survive the most terrifying haunted woods to get a big bucket of candy? The kid spoke with a spooky audio effect. No, I'd rather go trick-or-treating, Stella answered. Make me 2, Zach added. Make me 3, Liam added. The kid didn't phase from the denial from the 3, but the next 3, he's been waiting for them. Girls, let's get out of here, Stella turned to the trio's windows. Wait, give me a second, Girl Jordan replied as he turned to the kid. I'm willing to give it a shot. Girl Jordan, Molly backed away. I thought you wanted to go trick-or-treating, Rachel said. Girl Jordan then showed her friends the invitation. Look at this. The bucket will come in king-size candy bars. King-size? Molly takes the invitation from Girl Jordan. Only the witches have those sizes, and they're not from our neighborhood. Exactly. The kid visibly smiled. In fact, how about we make an agreement for an arrangement? As he whispers into Girl Jordan's ear, Stella and the others decide to walk out of the cafeteria. Stella, are we really gonna leave Girl Jordan and her friends on their own with this? Zach walked up next to her. When she's part of the Action News team and our friends, we should tell her to reconsider. Liam also walked up. Have you two forgotten that Girl Jordan is fearless during Halloween? Stella sighed. Especially Molly, and from what I've witnessed, they've kept Rachel company whenever she's with them, though it's a shame she may skip trick-or-treating if she made up her mind. She then took notice of Lincoln and Clyde sitting together, shaking in front of the lockers. It's just spooky decorations, Clyde said. Lincoln, Clyde, Stella walked up to them. You don't have to worry, we're still trick-or-treating tonight. What about Girl Jordan? Lincoln asked. Well, Liam replied, let's just say the fairies are heading to a castle in the haunted woods, Zach complimented. When Lincoln stood up, he saw Girl Jordan and the others coming out of the cafeteria. Girl Jordan, he walked up to her. What was going on in there? A guy in the Grim Reaper costume was giving out invitations, and there's going to be a haunted forest tonight with buckets of candy, Girl Jordan smiled. And guess what? The guy wants me and my friends to be special attractions there. He liked our outfits so much, it gave him inspiration for his attraction, Molly added. For the record, he told me to stay in one spot if he's giving me the bucket, Rachel added. But Girl Jordan, I thought we're gonna go trick-or-treating together, Lincoln responded. I mean, a big bucket of candy is great, but going house to house in an outfit you like is what you wanted earlier this month. But Girl Jordan looked at the invitation again after accepting the guy from the cafeteria. True, but me and my friends never had an opportunity like this during Halloween. She then looked up to Lincoln with an honest and sad look. Don't take this the wrong way, but there are other things to do than trick-or-treating. Did he even tell you what the Haunted Woods is gonna be like? Stella asked. Since you're gonna be special attractions, are you even taking part in what's happening? Clyde wondered. Girl Jordan and the others looked at each other after taking Clyde's words into consideration. He told us it's all a secret to make it more terrifying, but Rachel stopped herself. He's actually taking us to a shortcut to avoid all of what's set up just to stay in one spot in the woods, Molly filled in. Wait, so you have no other clue what the Haunted Woods is gonna be like? Zach added. No, Girl Jordan responded as she looked at the invitation again. However, I don't see that as a problem since we're being a part of the attraction. Lincoln felt dumbfounded. After weeks of waiting for this day to happen, plans have now changed. However, even if he's happy for Girl Jordan for her opportunity for more candy, he knows she doesn't learn about his uncontrollable phobia during this time of year. On second thought, me and Clyde will go trick-or-treating by ourselves. Lincoln lowered his head while closing his eyes. You don't want a big bucket of candy? Gold Jordan wondered. It would be worth it if you take part in it when the kid gives you an invitation. Just when Lincoln would make his decision, the school bell rang. Time to get to class, Molly looking at the school bell. Come on, girls. As Rachel follows Molly, Gold Jordan looks at Lincoln before following her friends. It will make me appreciate how the special attraction was delivered. Alright, I'll make up my mind after school, Lincoln answered as Gold Jordan gave him a hug before leaving. But little did he and the others know, just when they left, the kid in the Grim Reaper outfit saw the whole thing from the entrance in the cafeteria with a snarky smile on his face. Easy as pie, he continued to grin. After 30 minutes of class time, Lincoln and the others agreed to head to Principal Romandez's office. Upon heading up to the door, Lincoln knocked on the door but Romandez didn't answer. Principal Romandez, Stella called with no response. Are you in there? No! I refuse to be turned into a vampire, you blood-eating monster! The kids jumped from the reaction only for Lincoln to slowly open the door. They head inside, witnessing the principal hiding behind her desk. Principal Romandez, what happened to you? As Romandez slowly lifted her head up, the kids witnessed fear from the principal's eyes. I'll never go hiking in the woods again, or any woods. Never! Have you been in here for the whole day? Yes, for sanctuary, she shakes in fear. I couldn't sleep at all after last night. That haunted woods will stain my nightmares until the end of my life. This caused Lincoln to catch on immediately. Wait, you mean the haunted woods from the guy who gave out invitations? Yes, he wanted me to become his test subject, so he'll give me a bucket of candy of my own. But I was too scared, so I ran out of the woods before getting my reward. It was too terrifying to reap the reward. Principal Romandez continued to cry hard while eating some candy corn. Lincoln stood in place while shaking in fear. From the way the principal handles the situation, he can't imagine how scary the haunted woods is, if not even worse than a haunted house. There's no going back from this if Gold Jordan wants me there, Lincoln commented. What's worse for you, Clyde replied, trick-or-treating or giving her appreciation in the woods full of terror? We don't have answers of the haunted woods. That's what's been in my mind for half an hour. He really wants this to be as suspicious no matter what. Liam placed his hand on his head. Halloween just gets crazier than the previous years, Zach signed. This is why I don't do anything aside from trick-or-treating, Stella rolled her eyes. When someone is giving out invitations, that means they're desperate, wanting us to join. Yes, he was. I've heard a few kids here became test subjects just so he can make tweaks to the haunted woods to make it even scarier, Principal Romandez replied. Are you kidding me? Lincoln reacted. I'm not. He told me he included vampires days ago. He can't even wait another year to make more arrangements. Then Rusty came out from underneath the decks, surprising his friends. It was a horror show! He shouted while eating a piece of his candy. Rusty? Zach backed away. You were a test subject of the kids' haunted woods, Clyde added. The candy was so good I couldn't say no. Rusty lifts Zach up. But the sacrifice of what Halloween was like, I'll never go trick-or-treating ever again. Is that why you've been hiding here? Zach reacted while being placed down. No, actually, if he's willing to share his candy with me, I'll give him a day off here. Principal Romandez showed the students Rusty's candy bucket. My parents didn't believe me about what I went through. At least I managed to get my candy bucket. Rusty signed. Lincoln had seen everything for what the haunted woods had left Rusty and Principal Romandez in a state of panic and fear. The only objective he has left is to meet the kids in the Grim Reaper costume. But with little time left, he still hasn't made his decision. At the end of the day, the school bell rang with the students coming out, ready for Halloween tonight. However, Lincoln became the last person to come out. He told Clyde to come over to his house while the rest of his kids decided to go trick-or-treating tonight. He decided to walk home, knowing the kids might still be around. With the buses leaving the school, Lincoln waited in front of the school. He didn't let Jordan know since she left for the bus. As he took out his phone, he noticed that Jordan texted him about the haunted woods, to which he responded. He's still trying to make his decision on going. Then the kids in the Grim Reaper costume walked out of the front door with Lincoln taking notice. He had one more invitation in his hand. "I've been looking everywhere to find you," he responded. "I've gone through a lot of thinking." "Were you in the cafeteria all day?" Lincoln wondered. "Yes. In fact, I spent a lot of time making a certain someone, or in this case, a trio of lucky winners, a surprise that's anything but horror." "What do you mean by that?" As he walked up to him, he took off his hood, revealing himself, to show how much a guy respects a girl's feel of safety. "Chandler?" Lincoln reacted. "What do you expect, Lincoln Lame? A scary godmother?" Chandler making an evil laugh. "You're the one making the haunted woods?" Yeah, duh." Lincoln only rolled his eyes while looking up at the sky. "Why do I even ask anymore? Because you never failed to disappoint in humiliation? That's why." "Do you have anything better to do than that?" Chandler gave Lincoln a grin as he gives him whatever he pranks him. "This is my first Halloween of creating the most terrifying haunted woods in Warriorwoods, and I'm the first to do it." "What's your point?" Lincoln signed. "One of my friends and the principal are scared to leave the principal's office, and now you want Jordan and her friends to take part of it?" Chandler then walked up to Lincoln, still keeping his grin to keep Lincoln off guard. "Because I've seen your time with her, the Turtle Doves, allowing her to take part of the Action News team, and finally, he then answered into Lincoln's ear, "You kissed her on the beach." Lincoln backed away with his eyes shot open. He began to sweat that Chandler, out of all people, would see him during his beautiful moment with Jordan. "How do you know?" I've been biking on the beach from time to time, and while looking at the ocean, I saw you and Jordan laying together." It causes Lincoln to shake in fear with his heart pounding faster. "And I hide while spying on you, and then the moment Jordan got onto you, I took my phone." He then took out an item while showing it to Lincoln, and took a picture worth a lot of answers. The picture shows Jordan pressing her lips against Lincoln's with his eyes shot open. The angle was pointed on the left side, revealing more of the position Lincoln's in. Lincoln felt more scared while sweating harder, which only caused Chandler to be amused. "You're gonna show that to everyone at school, are you?" Lincoln reacted. "Been thinking about that before school came back, but putting this on the internet is better." "No, you better not. It's supposed to be me and Jordan's paradise for two," he shouted while covering his mouth. "Man, you're so pathetic on embarrassing levels. That makes humiliation better than ever." Lincoln blushed while removing his hands from his mouth. As if dealing with the disappointment wasn't enough, he learned that Chandler had been holding onto a photo for months that could be more of an embarrassment than his kiss with Ryan. "Please tell me you don't have copies of that." "No, I don't. I'm letting the internet do the work after Halloween tonight." "Please don't." Lincoln got on his knees with his hands wrapped together. "I'll do anything. I'll be your servant for the rest of the year. I'll give you an expensive Christmas present, or do something really embarrassing at school. Just please don't send it." With the pleading becoming far more amusing to Chandler, he kneeled to Lincoln's level. Good suggestions, but that's too simple. I want you to experience my haunted woods tonight, and if you complete it from beginning to end, I'll get rid of this. But you're not gonna get any candy." He lifted the photo up. Lincoln had nothing to get out of the situation he was in, knowing he wanted to go trick-or-treating with or without Gold Jordan. He can't even be upset for not having any candy, knowing that's not the biggest problem of them all. Chandler, what are you trying to prove here? Lincoln getting on his feet. Every time you prank or humiliate me, it's only for your own amusement. And now you want me to go through the haunted woods that I'm nowhere brave enough to go through? It's not about how brave you are, it's about how much of a chicken you are. Chandler putting the photo away. Gold Jordan never saw you as a chicken, right? No, he admitted. You knew this was gonna come to you when Halloween came around, and I can't think of a better humiliation once she sees the look on your face or seeing you pee your pants. This is nowhere near as low for you. This is like extreme levels of lows. Hey, you remember the time we went through the haunted house where you beat me? Yeah, and I also remembered that you admitted that me and Clyde are not as bad as you thought. You knew that was the closest I ever given credit to a kid like you, but for your information, I've improved on being prepared to go to any place where it is haunted. House, neighborhoods, corn mazes, which is what makes woods a perfect combination of the three. Well, except mazes, since I don't have space to put one in. You are way in over your head with this haunted maze thing, Lincoln spoke, stunned in disbelief. There's no limits during Halloween, Lincoln. I've got the rights to the haunted woods and no one can stop me. He then gave him the map to his destination while walking past him. You've known me for a long time. There's no point in us being friends while messing with you is more amusing to me. He left Lincoln alone in the front schoolyard as he headed to the haunted woods. Lincoln is beyond speechless, being blackmailed, threatened, and even being humiliated with a taken photo if he goes against Chandler's wishes. His life felt like a horror movie that he can't get out of with nothing to stop it. After taking a long walk all the way home, he texted Gold Jordan that he'll come to the haunted woods. He took his Halloween costume from his bedroom and put it on right away. He decided to dress up as the amazing Blaster earlier in the month since Gold Jordan enjoyed his magic tricks. He then made his way to the dining room to eat zombie brands for supper. As he poured milk into the bowl of zombie brand, he slowly ate the cereal, still scared of what he's getting into tonight. The doorbell rings, getting the attention from Lincoln. "It's unlocked," he called while eating his cereal. Clyde entered the house while being Hunter's specter for Halloween. "Lincoln," he turned to him in the dining room. "You know who that person is? Chandler. He was Chandler, and he wanted me to go through his haunted woods." Lincoln sighed while eating some more. "Of course," Clyde rolled his eyes while sitting next to Lincoln. "What's he up to now? Remember I told you about my day with Gold Jordan on the beach?" He turned to his best friend. "Yeah." "He spied on me while taking a picture of me kissing Gold Jordan, and he's gonna send it all over the internet if I don't go." As he continued to eat more of his cereal, Clyde didn't think Chandler would go that far, but he proved him wrong yet again. "Seriously, I don't even get what his problem is with you, or even you being his problem. Why do I even think about him anymore? He has all of his equipment and accessories from a wealthy family, despite not being a popular kid anymore. He was in a Grim Reaper costume, so no one noticed, but it's sad that Gold Jordan and her friends didn't notice." Then from upstairs, Lucy got out of her room while dressing up as a zombie for Halloween. Just when she headed down the stairs, she saw Lincoln and Clyde sitting together in the dining room. "Clyde, when are we ever going to admit to not only Gold Jordan and her friends, but ourselves that we're never gonna get over our phobias of anything that scares us during Halloween?" Clyde guessed. "Even outside of Halloween?" "Yeah, it seems the reason why we keep going back to this is that we want to prove ourselves to be better by getting rid of our phobias. And we never told anyone about this." Lucy never forgets the day she and the sisters scared the daylights out of Lincoln and Clyde, but mainly for them to be prepared for the Roy Wood's House of Terror. She planned on going trick-or-treating with the other sisters, but she didn't forget that Halloween while Lincoln helped her with her haunted maze. Even if she isn't allowed to summon ghosts tonight, she isn't gonna skip Halloween no matter what choices she makes. Lincoln, Clyde, she spoke, getting their attention. Lucy, Lincoln turned around. What are you two gonna do for Halloween tonight? We're gonna go to Chandler's Haunted Woods, Lincoln answered. This is between us and him, Lincoln lowered his head. I'm more terrified at what girl Jordan feels once she sees us. I see that she wants more from you. Months after she learns something from you, hoping you will improve yourself when the aftermath happens, Lucy said, sitting next to Lincoln. It's not that, it's just she's fearless unlike me and Clyde. We're never gonna be fearless like her. Then why are you doing this? Lincoln sighed while telling his sister the truth. Chandler is planning to publish a photo of me and girl Jordan kissing on the internet if I don't do it. The two kids lowered their heads while Lincoln continued to eat his cereal. Lucy knows what Lincoln's bully is doing is wrong, but on the other hand, she has to find a way to help out his brother's problem. You want me to join you? She offered. Lucy, if you do come, what's the difference? Even if you help us go through everything, you don't even know what's happening in the Haunted Woods. Clyde added, Yes, I don't know. But the difference is that not only we never spent a Halloween together, but you would never impress girl Jordan after going through everything there. But if there's one thing we all know, is that she doesn't know about the photo. Lincoln, after eating the last of his cereal, learned something he neglected since witnessing the photo. You're right, I completely forgot. I only thought about the Haunted Woods. Especially since he's heading straight to the Haunted Woods, Clyde added. Although, we still need to take it from Chandler and show it to girl Jordan. Yeah, I'm sure Chandler will keep it in his costume at all times. I'll handle it, Lucy replied. It's not too late to show girl Jordan the truth of his sickening plan. If it's a sacrifice for our phobias, I'll do it. Lincoln standing up. After Lincoln cleaned his dish in the kitchen, he wasted a little time as Clyde and Lucy made their way to the Haunted Woods. On the way there, they witnessed more screaming children running from the woods. It only made Lincoln and Clyde's phobias worse, but Lucy wasn't fazed at all, although it shows that no one aside from Rusty made it through the woods. As long as we stick together, we can make it through, Lincoln replied. Let's just hope teamwork is to our advantage, Clyde added. There's more than teamwork to go through the Haunted Woods, Lucy added. They arrived in the entrance to the Haunted Woods with Grim Reaper statues on both sides. The trees are covered in toilet paper while smoke comes out of the entrance. It seems the inside is what he's been focusing on the most than the outside. Chandler really wants this to be as mysterious as possible. Lincoln witnessed the entrance itself. If more visitors made it through everything, Chandler better put a good reward on what's inside the candy buckets, Clyde commented. They then saw a boy in a knight's outfit coming out of the entrance with a bucket of candy in his hand. However, he is shaken after his experiences in the Haunted Woods. Even with the reward, he wouldn't be able to sleep tonight. Excuse me? Lincoln called to the kid's attention. What? He shouted while Lincoln and Clyde backed away. Terror danger! Terror danger! Clyde reacted. Lucy, who stood in place, took the opportunity with the kid. What did you go through in the Haunted Woods? Non-stop horror madness! He placed his hands on Lucy's shoulders. There were so many monsters coming out of nowhere, I couldn't think in time. I had to rush to find the key to the next area. How many areas are there? 2. After that is far more terrifying. To win the candy. Do you remember what happened? All I know is that it's a huge monster which is every kid's nightmare combined together, he cried as he walked past Lincoln and Clyde, who's more afraid of the information. Maybe he was being overly dramatic, Clyde guessed. No, he's not. No one ever lies if they went through all that, Lucy replied. Lincoln took a deep breath. To the best of his ability, tried to be brave. Well, there's no turning back. Let's do this together. As Lincoln looks inside the entrance, he can hear all kinds of monster noises inside, and he can only wonder the amount of money Chandler put into everything. But the only thing he has in mind is what Girl Jordan and her friends are doing. Lincoln, Clyde, and Lucy entered inside, ready to go through the 2 areas of horror with an obstacle at the end. Meanwhile, Chandler, still in disguise in his Grim Reaper costume, took Girl Jordan and her friends, who are blindfolded, in the area that's part of his special attraction. Do you really think having us blindfolded is a good idea? Girl Jordan asked. Well, while Chandler is holding onto her hand, guiding her, with her holding onto her friends. It's a good idea for me, Rachel added. These haunted woods should be mysterious no matter what, Chandler spoke in the same audio effect from the cafeteria. There wouldn't be an atmosphere now, would there? I suppose there wouldn't be fear and excitement here, Molly added. As in for fun, right? Girl Jordan quipped, filling in. Chandler is more than thankful that the girls are nowhere near catching on to his plan. In fact, he's happy that the special attraction would further increase his chances of making the final obstacle better, but in his own ways, terrifyingly difficult. They walked up the steps he installed in order to reach a higher level. We're going up, Rachel wondered. Yes, but not too high, Chandler replied. This is gonna be great, Girl Jordan smiled. Lincoln will be happy once he sees us. Chandler and the others reached the higher level with a platform hidden with a curtain covering it. Once I close the curtain, you can untie your blindfold. As he allowed them inside, he pulled the curtain to cover the entrance. With only pumpkin lights from above, Girl Jordan and her friends took off their blindfolds. So what do we do? Molly unties her blindfold. You can watch the show with an inbuilt monitor. He pressed the button to turn on the monitor from above. Good. So what are we gonna do as special attractions? Girl Jordan asked. Oh, if you wanna know, do you 3 perfectly qualify as damsels in distress? Yeah, what kind? Rachel answered. Then, when the time is right, you will be part of the attraction itself. Wait, what do you mean by that? Molly took notice. You'll find out when the time is right. Chandler went down the steps as he took off his disguise. He took out his phone to see from the cameras he hung from the trees. He saw Lincoln, Clyde, and Lucy walking in from the entrance, which gave him a grin. Time to crank up the terror. Inside the platform, Girl Jordan and the others felt confused about what the guy in the Grim Reaper costume meant. Damsels in distress? Girl Jordan crossing her arms. We're fairies, not princesses. He told us that he liked our outfits, Rachel added. And the fact he told us it gave him inspiration. I think the inspiration he meant is us. The costumes probably made him more impressed, Molly added. Then shouldn't it be the other way around? These outfits aren't easy to walk in, Girl Jordan replied as she walked up to the curtain, only to notice she can't pull it open. I can't open this. The liner must be locked. Wait, does this mean we're trapped? Rachel flinched. We may be. Girl Jordan, Molly looked up at the monitor. Lincoln is finally here. Girl Jordan and Rachel walked up next to Molly, while also looking up at the model. However, they didn't notice a small camera hidden underneath the monitor, recording the 3 girls locked above the final area of the haunted woods. Chandler is sitting in a temp booth with all the monitors inside, giving him full access to the haunted woods he created. With a view of Gold Jordan and her friends, he paid attention to Lincoln as he's close to the first area. Lincoln, Clyde, and Lucy made their way to the first area of the haunted woods. After the trail that contained decorations of monsters hanging from the trees, they witnessed a huge pit with small platforms that leads to the other side of the area, with another trail to the next area, locked with a curtain with only a key to advance. The fog coming from the pit is red, making it more mysterious to convince kids to never fall into the pit. Chandler and his friends must have focused on the pit here, Clyde said, looking at the red fog. He's definitely putting whatever's scary in there, Lincoln replied. Should we do this one at a time? Lucy offered. You go first then. Upon taking the offer, Lucy headed straight to the first platform of the pit. She looked around to see a key, but nowhere to be found other than platforms. She jumped on the first platform, keeping her balance before jumping to the next. So far, nothing has happened yet. No monsters appearing out of nowhere, catching Clyde off guard, but not completely. Lucy, while jumping from platform to platform, looked in her surroundings again. She may not be able to find the key, but her main concern is the monsters themselves. Are you sure everything's alright, Lucy? Lincoln called. No, she responded. He knows I'm not afraid. But we know that he knows we're afraid, Clyde sighed. He's definitely saving what's gonna happen to us, Lincoln catching on. Lucy manages to jump off from the final platform, reaching to the other side of the area, unscaled and unharmed. Okay, one of you come on over, Lucy called. The platforms are small but not slippery. I'll be next, Clyde volunteered. The pit is what I'm really worried about. It's not a bottomless pit. I doubt Chandler would dig that deep, Lincoln replied. Clyde took a deep breath as he reached to the edge of the ground. With the platforms he paid attention to, Chandler saw Clyde jumping on the first platform, which turned his attention to the buttons. He took control of the whole woods. Time for some jump scares. He pressed the orange button on its hard setting of the area Lincoln and the others are in. The red fog from the pit went on full blast, causing Clyde to take notice immediately. The fog's blocking my view, he called. Here we go, Lucy said to herself. Lincoln tried to see what's going on with his best friend, but the fog continued to rise from the pit. But when Clyde couldn't see where the next platform was, an unwrapped mummy appeared from the pit, scaling in front of Clyde. Ah! He reacted while keeping his balance. Clyde? Lincoln called. A mummy then a Frankenstein monster appeared from behind, cutting Clyde off. Ah! Clyde jumped off the platform while reaching to another one, landing on his body. This is impossible! Clyde, do you need any help? Clyde panted heavily while trying to get back on his feet. I don't know. I don't think I can get back. Just the moment he turned around, a Texas chainsaw madman with a real chainsaw popped up, causing Clyde to scream and tripped on the platform. Luckily, he managed to hang onto the platform, but tears appeared after the jump scare, with his heart pounding. Lincoln, help! From the shout of his best friend's voice, Lincoln rushed to the edge but hesitated. He needed to help his friend, but just like him, he's terrified of what's inside the fog. Lincoln, you can do this. He closed his eyes while jumping in the fog. Oh, Gold Jordan reacted while watching from the monitor. Lincoln landed on the platform, but he closed his eyes to not see what's around him. Keep holding on, Clyde. I'll be right there. A werewolf appeared in front of Lincoln, roaring loud enough to scare any child. But Lincoln covered his ears while keeping his eyes shut. However, his heart is still pounding just like Clyde's. He can feel he's in a horrifying fog of fear even when he's not looking at it. he didn't have a plan to go around the area because of how well constructed it is. Lincoln, are you doing fine? Lucy asks, looking through the fog. Yeah, but not much, Lincoln responded. Chandler changed camera views from the monitor and witnessed Lincoln landing on the platform where Clyde is hanging from. Lincoln, Clyde smiled. I'll get you up, just grab my hands. Lincoln leaned down, grabbing Clyde's arm, even with his eyes closed. And time for the additional accessory. Chandler grinned while pressing another button. Once I get you up, we'll jump to the rest of the platforms. What about the key? Clyde replied. All that matters is for us to get out of here. Then a witch appeared in the fog with a broom and not only bumped Clyde's grip, but grabbed Lincoln in the air, causing Clyde to fall in the pit. Lincoln! He shouted. Lincoln opened his eyes while moving in the air. He looked up to see the witch's face. Chandler! He reacted as the witch turned around, witnessing monsters appearing in Link's sight. Lucy heard her brother screaming while floating in the air, but she still couldn't see through the fog. But then she looked above, with a rope hanging from a branch. Lincoln, she called. However, Lincoln couldn't listen to his sister due to the monsters scaring him. Just like Clyde's tears poured down on his face while trying to hold on to the witch, he managed to get his cape off of the witch's hand, but he almost lost his grip. While wrapping his body around the witch's broom, he got on top of it while witnessing the rope elevating the witch in the air. He knew he couldn't stay up there forever, especially after losing Clyde. After another turn, he reached to the witch's back that the rope is tied with, slowly untying it, which caused the witch to drop down. Lincoln spread his legs apart while closing his eyes. He got out of the wet fog and landed on the ground while losing his feet to stop himself. When he opened his eyes, he saw Lucy standing in place with her mouth slightly opened. She didn't expect Lincoln to go through an obstacle that intense, but not in a way to get out of it. Lincoln, you did it, Molly called. He even managed to fly out of there like a witch flying from a ditch, Rachel cheered. Girl Jordan was surprised to see Lincoln flying out of the wet fog on the witch's broom, but she looked closely at the monitor to see tears on Lincoln's face. It made her concerned despite the way he got out of there. I did it, he teared up while getting off the broom. I thought I was a goner. We've been through worse, but I'm still impressed. Lucy walked up to her brother. Chandler must have added that witch just for you. Yeah, I caught on the moment I looked at the witch's face, Lincoln getting off the broom. But he turned to the fog that's been toned down. We don't have the key, and Clyde's probably still stuck in the pit. Then Clyde, who was still on the same platform, got up while shaking in fear, taking Lincoln and Lucy by surprise. When he turned around, he jumped on the rest of the platforms and reached the other side. Clyde? Lincoln walked up to his best friend. I thought you would have been trapped down there. That's what I thought, but you're right about the platforms not being slippery. I managed to hang myself on the platform to prevent falling on the ground, and look what I found. He showed Lincoln and Lucy the key to give them access to the next area. You found the key? Lucy took notice. It was hanging onto one of the monsters, mainly the chainsaw guy. The kids must have had a hard time finding this key in a horror fest like this, Lincoln added. How can Chandler expect us to find a key in a pit? Probably making a reference of finding an item in the darkest depths of... Lucy getting cut off after Lincoln and Clyde looked at her with terrifying looks. Bad timing. Yeah, bad timing. Let's just go, Lincoln sighed as Clyde inserted the key through the lock. As they leave the area, Chandler back at the tent booth crossed his arms, slightly furious at how Lincoln went through that area. But with only 2 more areas until the end, he made sure each area is harder and scarier than the last. I'm not letting Lincoln get through another area in this place. Time for the angels of darkness and the pets to be fed tonight. He pressed the dark red button to turn the difficulty in the next area to intense. Back with Girl Jordan and the others, her friends wonder what the next area is like. But Girl Jordan didn't think Lincoln was enjoying this after getting out of the wet fog. Do you think this is still a bad idea? She turned to Molly. Well, this is supposed to be a haunted woods to terrify people, right? Yes, but Lincoln and his friend Clyde are way more terrified, especially how they cried after going through that. Molly looked at the monitor of Lincoln and the others walking on the trail. Lincoln wiped his tears from his face while taking deep breaths after the mayhem he went through. Not everyone is fearless, especially during Halloween. Yeah, it makes me think we're only here to watch them get scared rather than being special attractions, Rachel added. I wouldn't understand why if we knew who the guy in the Grim Reaper costume was, Girl Jordan crossing her arms. And I'm starting to feel uncomfortable with this costume on. I'm not in a happy or Halloween mood right now. Just calm down, I'm sure things won't get out of control. Easy for you to say. I've been through a ton of haunted houses and they were never this over the top. Haunted house, woods or not, I don't think this place is stable. Yeah, it would definitely be shut down if professionals found out about this place, Girl Jordan added. We're not even acting as damsels in distress. More like reactors from a channel on the internet, Rachel commented. But way more raw and not for fun. Anything here is far beyond fun, Molly finishes as she and the others look back at the monitor. Moving along the trail, it continued to get darker and darker. Lucky for Clyde, he brought along his flashlight for protection wherever he's hunting ghosts. Only in this case, he and the others are from a haunted movie Lost in the Woods. Lincoln, Clyde, I know you're trying to get through this, but is standing so close to each other a good idea? Lucy watches Lincoln hiding close behind Clyde while following 3 feet from behind. You two are gonna be a big target, right? What do you want us to do? We only have one flashlight. Lincoln looked in his surroundings. It's getting darker by the second. I can't even see the lights from where we came from. Clyde turned around. You do know that you have night vision goggles, right? Lucy pointed at Clyde's helmet. They're not real. If they were, I would have taken my hobby of passionately. Not to mention living the dream, Lincoln added. They come across a sign from above, saying they have entered the second area of the woods. Upon stepping off the trail, the atmosphere takes effect in the open area. It's far bigger in comparison than the last one, with nothing but pure darkness. The only thing that gives any light is the full moon shining from above. Our first priority is to find the next key, Lucy replied. There's definitely gonna be a lot of fear in the darkness. Lincoln looked around. Expect the unexpected, Clyde added. Going together as a team, they looked in all directions when the monsters appear. With only a few trees in the center, there's no camouflaging at all. Running is the only way to make it through the area of darkness. When Clyde moved his flashlight, he tried to find the key but was nowhere to be found. When Lucy turned around, she heard someone walking on the leaves from a distance. Expect the unexpected now. From the car, Lincoln and Clyde stopped themselves, shaking off what's coming their way. Okay, Chandler, give it your best shot, Lincoln grabbing Clyde and Lucy's hands. I wish he would have included ghosts here. It would have made me thrilled, Clyde replied. I would, but I hate ghosts. Chandler smirked with his feet on the star. As the monster's noise continued to get louder, Clyde turned to the direction while pointing his flashlight. The monster in the reveal is a blood-eating vampire with the top-notch makeup that came out of a Twilight film, but more aggressive. It's a vampire. Lincoln hides behind Lucy as the monster thirsts for blood. You can't convince me Chandler would go too far by having a guy in a vampire costume to eat us, right? As much Lucy would disagree, she wouldn't go too far if she's running the forest in the same way she ran the corn maze. She took out a small container of fake blood and gave it to the vampire. The vampire grabbed it from Lucy and drank it. "Let's back away," Lucy suggested. "I got a feeling that," Clyde shaking while the vampire drank every last drop of it. The vampire then crushed the container into pieces, cringing from the taste of the fake blood. "He didn't like how you made it, Lucy." The anger from the vampire continued to thirst harder. His threatening presence only gave Lincoln, Clyde, and Lucy in a more vulnerable position. "Run!" Lincoln shouted as he and the others ran away from the vampire, but it was only the beginning of the bloody madness they're in. With a flashlight still in his possession, Clyde witnessed more vampires in more directions, more bloodthirsty with their eyes glowing red. To avoid being a huge threat at the last minute, Lincoln, Clyde, and Lucy split up while the vampires chases them. These vampires aren't the ones from the vampires of Metacania. They drink blood viciously and Lucy stopped herself witnessing someone on their hands and feet next to the vampires with their eyes also glowing red. The Hounds of the Night. Lincoln ran as fast as he could, but the vampires were faster. He had 3 vampires on his tail, but his troubles increase when he's feeling the experience of what every survivor in the horror movie is going through. His experience of watching The Harvester was terrifying, but in the state he's in now, he'll never believe how any kid would make it through this place unharmed. Chandler adores every moment of Lincoln's torment, especially the tears falling down on his face. This is just perfect. Gore Jordan will never see how much of a man Lincoln is. He grinned while he paid attention to the second area's monitor. The monitor of Gore Jordan and her friends are anything but amused. Gore Jordan felt more uncomfortable by watching Lincoln running for his life. They wouldn't have vampires chasing kids like this. Gore Jordan panicking. "It can't get any worse than this." Molly crossed her arms. Then, a black hound dog appeared on the screen, running past the vampires, biting Lincoln's cape, causing him to get lanked on the ground. "Lincoln!" Gore Jordan reacted. "It just got 5 times worse," Molly corrected herself. "More like 10 times worse," Rachel hiding behind Molly. "Help!" Lincoln cried with the hound and vampires surrounding him. Clyde knows his best friend in severe danger, but he's also getting chased by vampires and the hound. He wanted to help, but he's also in fear. In fear, he could get eaten or get his blood sucked out. Lucy went across the trees to make a diversion for herself, but the vampires and hounds were too smart. She saw her brother being lifted up by one of the vampires and they planned to bite his neck. No matter how fake the teeth are, she still doesn't want to see her brother's neck bleeding. He may not cringe at the sight of blood, but not from her relatives in a time like this. Just like him, she's surrounded with the vampires picking her up from the ground, preparing to bite her neck, but she bites its nose. With her being dressed up as a zombie, the vampire dropped her while Lucy crawled under it, before the other vampires catched her. However, the hounds caught up while Lucy rushed back on her feet. Lucy made her way to Lincoln just before the vampires bit his neck. The hound bumped into the vampire after Lucy got out of the way, causing the vampires to fall down. When Lincoln immediately got up, his cape was stuck underneath the vampires themselves. He untied it and moved just in time before the hound catched him. Lincoln and Lucy ran together with 2 hounds chasing them. "We still need to find the key before leaving the next area," Lincoln cried. "This is impossible." "A bucket of candy isn't worth it," Lucy commented. As they saw Clyde being picked up by another vampire, they rushed their way to help him. Just like before, they moved out of the way with the hounds bumping into the vampires, with Clyde landing on his feet on the ground. As he catches up to them, the 3 hounds growl in anger. They ran like panthers, with no time for Lincoln and the others who aren't as fast as them. "They're catching up," Lincoln cried. "Guys, the key is up there." Clyde pointed his flashlight to up a branch where the key is hanging from. "What are we gonna do?" Lucy came up with an idea, but it's a risk she's willing to take. "I'll get it, you two split up without me." Without hesitation, Lincoln and Clyde went to the right as the hounds chased after Lucy. Even in the dark, Lucy can remember where the key is at. When she turned around, the hounds were close to her tail, but she jumped in the air, landing on one of the hounds. She jumped right away as she grabbed the key from the branch, landing on the ground as the hound stopped and turned around to catch her again. Lincoln and Clyde headed to the other side as Lucy followed from behind. Soon the vampires got back up and joined the hounds. "This area is too big for us to run around," Lincoln cried. "Wait, I can see the exit to the next area." Clyde witnessing the next trail being blocked off by a curtain with another lock. "But Lucy has the key." Lincoln turned around and saw Lucy being chased by everyone in the area. There's only one way to give Lucy time to unlock the curtain before the vampires and hounds catch her. He grabbed Clyde's hand and pulled him to the right. He picked up dirt from the ground and threw it at the vampires and hounds, who immediately stopped, also catching Lucy by surprise. "We're buying you time to unlock the curtain. We're catching up," Lincoln called as the monsters chased him and Clyde. Even in fear, it's the only chance to escape the havoc. Lucy, without wasting any time, headed straight to the curtain with the key in her hand. The hounds got much faster, with them biting close to Lincoln and Clyde. The two best friends couldn't take the panic madness as they dodged every bite from the hounds. When they dodged to the right, they rushed to where Lucy is at, who manages to unlock the curtain while waiting for them. The home stretch is in full view, however the hounds were too close to them, biting the Halloween costumes, whipping them slightly. Girl Jordan and her friends were terrified, with Girl Jordan tearing up. She couldn't bear to see a second of Lincoln in fear. Her heart was pounding hard, hoping he and Clyde will make it out of there. Chandler, on the other hand, clenched his teeth in anger. Lincoln and Clyde reached the trail exit while Lucy threw dirt at the hounds. It brought her enough time to close the curtain and lock it just before the vampires caught up. Lincoln and Clyde fell on the ground, safe and sound from the second area, which was harder than the last, but it doesn't change how the phobias are all over the skin than their hearts. Lincoln, Clyde, Lucy walked close to her brother and his friend, who were crying with their Halloween costumes slightly ripped apart. "I can't take it anymore," Lincoln whispered to himself while looking at his damaged Halloween costume. "My amazing blazer outfit, it's ruined. I want to go home." Clyde shook in place. "Too much terror." Lucy lowered her head of how Chandler turned her brother and his friends into traumatized kids rather than scaredy cats. Even if grown teenagers go through the haunted woods, it still wouldn't be acceptable for how unstable it is. Girl Jordan sighed in relief, but her tears continued to fall down from her eyes. She needed water to calm down, but without any at all, it only made her worse. "This place is sick and toxic," she panicked. "I can't stay here anymore, and this costume isn't helping." "I have to agree, there's something wrong with that guy in the Grim Reaper costume," Rachel pointed outside of the platform. "If we do get a bucket of candy, I'm declining. It's not worth it anymore," Molly pacing around. "I've got a feeling that the final area is gonna be far more terrifying, and we don't even know what it's like." "That's it!" Girl Jordan screamed as she ripped her fairy costume apart. It took her friends by surprise as she got out with her normal clothes. She rushes to the curtain while trying in the best of her ability to pull it open despite the lock itself. "We need to get out of here!" "Girl Jordan, I didn't mean to scare you, it's just, I know you didn't mean it like that," Girl Jordan shouted. All that matters is for us to stop Lincoln and the others from heading to the third area. It was no use as the lock is too powerful to break. She then tried to whip the curtain itself, but the hangers above are too intact with the branches. As Molly and Rachel are willing to help out their friend, Chandler in the tent booth throws a lot of equipment on the ground, a rage of Lincoln and the group surpassing the second area. Unbelievable! He threw a ghost face Max on the ground. I knew he wouldn't make it past that with the hounds. As he looks at the monitor of Lincoln and Clyde's getting back up, heading to the final area, he's definitely bringing the big guns of terror. He looks straight at the black button at the end of the monitor. It was his last chance to win up against Lincoln after the many times he won against him. I'll show you what I've overcome and feel, unlike you, Lincoln lame. Back at the trail, Lincoln and Clyde were losing their breath, with Lucy following them from behind. They wanted to leave, but they refused to let Chandler expose Lincoln on the internet with a private photo he has. You know, Lincoln, Lucy spoke, if you can't control your phobia no matter what, there's no reason for you to finish this. I didn't expect this place to be this unstable. Lucy, he spoke while breathing. I would normally, but I don't have much of a choice here. Sorry, Lincoln, but I'm agreeing with your sister, Clyde replied. Blackmail is no joke, but is that any worse than getting scared by monsters? What do you want me to do? Lincoln teared up. I'm worried about how Cole Jordan will react if she found out about the photo being on the internet. We know, Lucy responded, but have you ever got the impression of what she feels about your phobia? Lincoln stopped himself after what Lucy stated. As she walked up next to him, he turned his attention to his sister. I've heard about what you and Clyde talked about before I came downstairs. It seems over the majority of this year since Christmas last year, you've become much closer to her. Is it really a surprise to you? You were with everyone when you found out about it. I'll never forget that day, but you had never committed to a close relationship like that to a girl. That's because I didn't think I would go that far with it. In fact, I was thinking about that kind of relationship with Stella long before I became friends with her. It's a long, very disappointing story, Clyde filling in. Don't act like you're the only ones, Lucy replied. My time with Rocky didn't work out that long, but like you two, we're friends and just friends. All I know is that if she really is close to you, she really cares about what you feel. Lincoln had never forgotten the beach day he had with Girl Jordan, and with each day that passes, he misses how caring she was when she's close to him, hugging him from behind while placing her hand on his heart, while he also returned a favor to her. But still, I'm more fearless than you two, and I will never be scared of a holophobia. However, I would give Chandler a piece of my mind. Girl Jordan doesn't need to see you brave if you aren't. When Lincoln turned to the trail in front of him, only few possibly went on this trail after the last two trails. After the feel he saw from Rusty, it'll probably damage him after the final area of the haunted woods. With his phobia being worse than his friend, he can't hide his phobia from anyone forever, including Girl Jordan. You're right about you being fearless, but you know what? Lincoln turned to his sister. I've made it this far. Is that more of what Girl Jordan wants to see me coming to help her? You do realize she didn't see what we went through, right? Clyde signed. It'll take a lot of time to tell her everything. I'll take it no matter what. It's for Girl Jordan. As Lincoln turned around, he made his way to the final area. Do you wish you had a brother like that? Clyde turned to Lucy in concern. Because... Clyde, Lucy responded with a smile on her face. I would do the same if Rocky was in Girl Jordan's place. She then followed Lincoln, leaving Clyde all alone. I would have done that if I was helping Chloe. Clyde lowered his head. She'll probably understand if I told her about my phobia. He then catches up to Lincoln and Lucy to reach the final area of the Haunted Woods. It didn't take long for their arrival, but towards the end of the trail, they walk past a caged fence with the area having no trees at all. Through the fence, they witness the buckets of candy on display. Wow, his budget on the smallest attractions still doesn't disappoint, Clyde drawled at the sight of the candy. I, for one, am not allowed to win it. He really wants me to have the worst Halloween ever, Lincoln signed. I'm convinced that only a few people won some buckets, Lucy added. He's smart for prizes, but wastes for our money. And keeping people awake at night. Lincoln and the group wasted a little time as they headed to the area. When they came out of the trail, the area, while not as big as the last, was still widely open, with all kinds of Halloween monsters hanging above the branches. They were more terrifying than the ones from earlier. The cage fences are bigger, with barbed wire from the top, preventing anyone from escaping. The last areas probably have bailout accesses. Clyde's looking around. Looks like there really is no going back, Lucy added. Where's Gore Jordan and her friends? Lincoln replied. Oh, they're here. Above you watching the show. Chandler pressed one of the small buttons. Gore Jordan and her friends noticed the curtain behind the monitor was being lifted up. They immediately rushed to the front as they witnessed the arrival of Lincoln, Clyde, and Lucy. Lincoln! Gore Jordan screamed. Gore Jordan? Lincoln looked above. You're here, Rachel smiled. What happened to your fairy outfit? Clyde took notice. It doesn't matter, can you please get us out of here? Molly reacted. We can't, the whole place is fenced, Lincoln replied. Look what's in front of you, Lucy pointed. Lincoln and Clyde turned their attention at the monster-fied gate itself. I can't see the gate, Gore Jordan trying to look what's underneath her. Chandler placed his hand on the black button and pushed it. Happy Halloween. The gate rose from the ground with only darkness being revealed, but the sounds of the monster became louder by the second. It slowly but surely made its way out of the darkness, but way bigger and higher than meets the eye. Lincoln and Clyde were shaking in fear, but they prepared to the best of their ability. It could be a swamp monster, Lincoln said. Or a banshee, Clyde added. When Lucy looked straight in the darkness, she thought it was only one monster, and she's correct, but not completely. It's probably both of those, or more. As they witnessed, the legs of the monster were like Bigfoot legs. They had bloodstains on them. The torso is like a troll in Norse mythology, uglier but stronger, dressed up as a mommy with toilet paper. One hand has the hand of a goblin, while the other hand has the glove of Freddy Krueger with the sharp blades. And finally, the face that sold the monster to its entirely, one of the scary faces of Ghoul with stitches of Frankenstein and vampire teeth. With the monster in the final area, Lincoln and Clyde's hearts were pounding again. They didn't expect Chandler to outwit himself, especially creating a monstrosity. It looks way too legit. Clyde getting close to Lincoln. We're not backing out, we're not backing out, we're not backing out! Lincoln shouted with tears on his face. Gore Jordan witnessed not only the monster from above, but seeing Lincoln crying in fear. She rushed back to the lock and tried to break it. No more, no more, she reacted. While her friends tried to help, the monster heads up to Lincoln's group, leaning down with a loud roar of a Wendigo, only from the darkest and terrifying forces in horror media. Lincoln and Clyde couldn't take it as they ran from the left and right while Lucy running under the monster. But before they could escape, the gate immediately lowered down to the ground. When they turned around, the entrance in the area is locked up. No escape until they defeat the monster itself. The monster grabbed Clyde's head only for Lincoln to grab his body. He manages to save him, but his helmet ripped off of him. He has my Ghost Hunter helmet, Clyde hugging Lincoln. The monster then squeezed the helmet as the two witnessed the destruction of falling on the ground. Pieces of metal only continued to scale the two, beyond in fear of what it would be like if the heads wore the helmet. Lucy looked at the monstrosity harming Lincoln and Clyde with its sharp blades scratching the cage to intimidate them. She wished she could find a way to stop it, but for how huge it is, she doubts she'll climb it if she tried. How did the kids beat that monster, she said to herself. Lincoln pulled Clyde away to the left just before the monster grabbed him. We're never going to win against it, Clyde hiding behind Lincoln. What are we gonna do? Lincoln looked at the face of the monster. I don't know. He probably did all the tweaks to make it indestructible. So, now what? Gold Jordan and her friends managed to break the lock as they escape. Come on! Gold Jordan screamed as she and her friends rushed down the steps. In no time at all, they reached to where Lincoln is at, but the lock from the cage door is too powerful to break. You gotta be kidding me! Guys, Molly called. Girls, Lincoln turned around. You got out from above? No time for that, Rachel reacted. The special attraction isn't worth it to see you in so much fear, Gold Jordan cried. Wait, you actually watched what we've been through? Lincoln walked up the cage door. Yes, this haunted woods isn't as special in person. This is beyond unstable. I know, I want to go home. Tears continued to fall down on his face, which only caused heartbreak in Gold Jordan. She wished she could hug him to give him comfort, but can't. Lincoln, look out! Molly pointed at the monster who grabbed him with Clyde getting out of the way. Ah! Gold Jordan turned around and ran off, taking her friends by surprise as they followed her. Clyde and Lucy meet together to see Lincoln in the monster's hand, resisting while taking it back from the monster face to face. Every kid's nightmare is to get eaten by the monster they couldn't sleep at night. And Lincoln is no different with his phobia too strong to break. He continued to lose more breath as if he's losing himself from the inside of his body. I think my best friend is starting to getting unconscious. Clyde shaking. Too much fear. So much is taking everything away from him mentally, Lucy replied. Gold Jordan rushed to find another solution to save Lincoln, but then came inside the tent booth after running all over the place, which took her by surprise. She stopped, noticing the monitors and equipment all around her. Gold Jordan, Rachel heading inside. Did you find a way to... Molly stopped herself, witnessing the tent booth inside. Save them? Gold Jordan looked at the buttons while turning to the monitor. I thought there was more than one control booth. And I thought the kid was only doing the advertisements, Rachel said. I don't think a parent or a guardian is in charge of this place, Molly replied. We haven't thought about that when we became special attractions. Where's the guy in the Grim Reaper? Gold Jordan stopped herself when she saw notes hanging from the thumbtack board. What caught her attention is that her name is written in one of the notes, including Lincoln's. Am I only used for laughing at Lincoln's misery? Her jaw dropped. We're feeling anything but that. We're being used, Rachel reacted. Is this all a setup? Molly added. Just when Gold Jordan figured it out on her own, she heard machinery sounds next to the tent booth. Is someone controlling the monster? As she and her friends looked at each other, they all headed out of the tent booth. From the other side, another tent booth in black is where the machinery sounds are taking place. They slowly made their way as Gold Jordan headed up to the black curtain. Red light is what's coming from the inside, but she heard a laugh she didn't forget. She slowly opened the curtain and was shocked to see Chandler in animatronic gear, controlling the monster in every move he's in. In front of him is the monitor of the point of view of the monster. He loves every moment of Lincoln crying in fear, savoring the moment. I can do this all night if I wanted to, he grinned. I knew if I wanted to save the best for last, I would have saved the worst for Lincoln Lame. With a look of confidence, Molly and Rachel couldn't believe it was Chandler all along, but they turned their attention to Gold Jordan, who clenched her fist after learning the truth. I can't think of a better way to have Lincoln see what I put inside the monster to make him, just when he had the urge to eat him, Gold Jordan out of nowhere grabbed Chandler's arm. With pain in his arm, he looked at her with a furious look, but not flinching at all. She knew the answer the moment she saw Chandler without hesitation, and figured out he was in the Grim Reaper costume all along. Put him down now, she insisted that Chandler lowered his arm, terrified from her. Back in the final area, the monster placed Lincoln back down, taking him, Clyde, and Lucy by surprise. What? Lincoln reacted. Did it just... Clyde standing next to Lucy. The sounds and movements of the monster stopped, leaving it in place. The three looked straight up, as if the area just became harm-free, with the monster of many monstrosities turned to a statue in the museum. I didn't do anything to stop it, Lucy commented. Nor did we, Lincoln taking off his magician hat. They then heard Chandler appearing behind the cage door, but upon heading back to the door, Gold Jordan still had her grip on his arm. He took out his keys to unlock the door itself. Look what we found, she moaned in anger. Lincoln wasn't appalled since he knew it all along. You figured it out just now? I was hoping she wouldn't find, Chandler retorted, only for his wrist to get twisted. Ah! This isn't even that low for you, Molly crossed her arms next to him. This is reaching Earth's hot liquid core levels of low. I can get why you don't have any goals for friends, Rachel added. Gold Jordan let go of Chandler as he held onto his arm. I knew you would have done something to Lincoln since I've been with him a lot, but this, she pointed at the haunted woods itself, I expected hardcore unhinged adults to be responsible for causing this. Chandler kept his attention on Lincoln most of the time. He completely missed all of Gold Jordan's reactions, especially her escaping. Alright, I tricked you and your friends. What did you expect? He turned to Gold Jordan, probably flirting with her against her will. But you'll forever be single. Molly rolled her eyes, only for Gold Jordan to stare at her. What? He's too typical. I can tell, but I'm not laughing, Gold Jordan yelled while turning back to Chandler. Do you have any idea how scared I was seeing Lincoln crying in fear? My plan was to— Shut up! Gold Jordan screamed, cutting Chandler off. I read your notes about laughing at his misery. Villains laugh at misery, and what I saw was fear. Fear sneer. I've got over my fears on my own, and that makes you better than me, Lincoln chimed in. You never improved on being brave, so why does that really make you any better? Chandler leans face to face with Lincoln. While the group is arguing, Lucy doesn't forget about the photo, even if she never saw it. While keeping an eye on everyone, she slowly made her way to the exit, with Clyde taking notice. You always act you are better than me, when at the end of the day, you're just too self-absorbed to even admit about how others feel. I have tons of money for all this, and the candy over there, Chandler pointed. What else do I have to gain? Nothing, Gold Jordan retorted. You got nothing. Even with wealth, when you're too shallow to be like Lincoln. I don't care what you think of me, him, or us together. Especially since we would have gone trick-or-treating instead of being here, Rachel added. Trick-or-treating is for toddlers anyway, Chandler responded, placing his hand on the monster's leg. Speaking of which, you three aren't getting a bucket of candy since you didn't become the special attractions for my vision. After everything that happened tonight, we don't care, Gold Jordan shouted. You ain't worth anything for rewards, no matter how good the candy is. As a matter of fact, when we get back to school, we're gonna tell everyone about you and the haunted woods, Molly added. Chandler knew he would be in hot water, but he didn't care at all. Whatever, Chandler smirked. I'm not afraid of anything. Of course you're not, Gold Jordan sighed. Honestly, I don't think you could get any worse. Let's go, girls. She, along with her friends, followed her as they went through the exit. Chandler took a look at Lincoln and Clyde, who both are still shaking after the terror they went through. The only thing I'm thankful for is hearing you two whine about your nightmares at school, he smirked. Oh, like everyone's gonna laugh with you? Clyde replied. Not everyone's gonna sympathize with you. You know we're not leaving until you give me the photo. Lincoln attempted to make a stand. We've gone through all 3 areas here. You know you didn't finish the last area, right? Lincoln looked at the monster, knowing how Girl Jordan is the reason the monster stopped in the first place. Then how do you expect us to beat it? Nothing, she snarkily laughed. What? He turned back to Chandler. I've increased the Haunted Woods' difficulty and horror only for you, he poked at Lincoln's face. As for this area, I had a much smaller monster version who kids can use weapons against. You were never gonna win anyways. Oh, that is just sickening, Clyde reacted. All that just to give us mad scientist monstrosity, paranoia? Do you even think of having limits when you know that you're gonna go too far over the top? Lincoln painted heavily, only for Chandler to push him to the ground. Who needs limits? He stooped to his level. You can't even set up a haunted house even if you tried. The only thing you're good at in all this is crying like a baby. Lincoln couldn't control his emotions even after the 3 areas, but he can't deny that what Chandler just said is true. With tears still coming down, it only amused him even more. But look on the bright side. You proved to me that you're not a chicken, but you're still gonna hug your stuffed animals like babies do. At least it'll give me comfort when I go to bed. Face it, Lincoln. More people will see the kind of nobody you are once the internet gets a hold of my photo. They would see you more than a loser since they see Girl Jordan as being way better than you. And you can't expect me to believe that she'll ever be your girlfriend in high school. She'll be better off of having a better life without you. You think that? Try knowing that. Chandler! The shout, not far in the distance, scared Chandler much to Lincoln and Clyde's surprise. When Chandler turned around, Girl Jordan got out of the exit while pulling Chandler's hair. She tossed him against the fence from the other side, preventing him from escaping. He saw the anger and terror from her clenched teeth, causing him to shake just like Lincoln and Clyde. She kicked his knee hard, causing him to fall on the ground while still looking at her. What is this? She showed him the photo of her kissing Lincoln on the beach. That's not mine. It was hiding in your tent booth. Okay, I hide it behind my monitors. Lucy then came out of the exit while helping her brother back on his feet. You took a picture of me and Lincoln while we were kissing in private? The beach wasn't even private to begin. Girl Jordan kicked his knee again. Shut up! She shouted at the top of her lungs. Ow! That day alone was the best day I ever had with Lincoln, and it's also the only time we ever had it. He also blackmailed me to be here unless he posts it on the internet. Lincoln added, getting back up. Girl Jordan stopped herself, while Chandler's eyes shot wide open with him getting caught red-handed. Girl Jordan slowly turned to Lincoln with a shocked look, but also concern. What did you say again? He also blackmailed me to be here, or else he would have posted it on the internet. Here we go, Lucy whispered to herself. Girl Jordan slowly turned back to Chandler, placing the photo down with her blood boiling to the bone. Her rage reached the highest level, leaving Chandler vulnerable. You ruthless, immature creep! She punched him in the face, causing him to collapse on the ground. Put us on the internet, blackmailing Lincoln, and scarring him for life. Oh, you are gonna get it! She beat up Chandler at every point of his body as he screamed like a girl. Her punches were way more powerful after her workout in the gym at school. Just when Chandler was about to escape, Girl Jordan pulled him back and kicked him in the crotch. Lincoln and Clyde turned away from the blowout from Girl Jordan to the point she whipped Chandler's underwear after giving him a huge wedgie. They noticed Lucy standing in front of them while opening her arms. The two kneeled down as they gave Lucy a hug. They didn't need to ask, now they know Lucy showed Girl Jordan the photo. They're thankful they succeeded in their plan, even if it didn't turn out what they expected in the end. Lucy looked at the beating the Chandlers getting from the hands of Girl Jordan and smiled. "Happy Halloween, Chandler," she spoke. Meanwhile, back in the tent booth, Molly and Rachel watched the whole show from the monitors. "Do you think it's okay to stay here because we can still heal them?" Rachel asked. "This is better than the whole haunted woods itself." Molly crossed her arms while grinning. "You know you want to know part of this, right?" "Yeah, you're right." Around that time, trick-or-treating in the neighborhood came to an end, with everyone returning home. After the beating, Chandler gave Girl Jordan the keys to the buckets of candy for her. Her friends, Clyde, Lucy, and Lincoln. She needed sweets when the truth put her in a state of distress and rage, and willing to help out her friends. They all leave the haunted woods as they all headed home, leaving Chandler all alone for the karma he deserves. Girl Jordan is willing to come to Lincoln's house to give her more comfort before she heads home for the night. With a photo in her possession, she decides to text Stella and her friends to meet her at Lincoln's place, who's just done trick-or-treating with the rest of her friends. Back at Lincoln's place, he immediately got out of his Halloween costume and into his pajamas. Upon heading back downstairs, Clyde, Lucy, and Girl Jordan and her friends sat down on the couch with the buckets of candies placed in front of them. "Thanks for having me get a bucket of candy," Lincoln said, sitting next to Girl Jordan. "Just need to make sure none of my younger sisters steal it, including Lola. She's a candy smuggler. Not to mention a dessert smuggler," Clyde added. The front door opens, revealing Stella, Liam, Zach, Emma, and Chloe in their Halloween costumes, taking the kids by surprise. "Clyde!" Chloe reacted from the look on Clyde's face, rushing up to him. "You look miserable." "I've been telling you the truth all night." Zach closes the door. "I can't believe Chandler would go that far," Emma commented. "I don't even want to know what happened in the woods," Stella signed. "Do you really think the buckets of candy are worth it?" Liam pointed at the buckets. "We didn't technically win the candy," Lincoln replied. "Girl Jordan took care of it." The night Stella and the others had on Halloween wasn't bad, but they were worried about Lincoln, Clyde, Girl Jordan, and her friends the whole night. "Did your sister come along?" Zach asked. "It was the only way to make it through everything. She's not even scared." "I've seen way worse," she said, "but the trauma damage is already done to my brother and his friend. We've been thinking of skipping the Action News team classes so we can get therapy for the next week," Clyde answered, "including Rusty." "Oh, well that's a shame," Emma lowered her head. "I really love the Halloween costume trio contest," Chloe added. "I know, but we really need therapy after all the terrifying madness we went through," Clyde breathed heavily. "A simple hug doesn't help all of our problems." "You're right," Stella placed her hand on her hip. "Besides, we worked so hard on the contest, we got a bit burned out. Next time we do another contest, we need more people to help out," Liam added. "Do you guys want to know what Chandler did to make me come to his haunted woods?" Lincoln leaning up. "You probably won't believe it." Girl Jordan kept the photo away from her friends, but at the same time she knew she or Lincoln had to come clean after the unforgettable Halloween they had. "How about we wait until after therapy?" she suggested. "Trust me guys, as much as this is really important, tonight just isn't the time." Stella thought about it for a second and remembered how things changed, with Girl Jordan being part of the group. "Yeah, we should save it for when we're ready." Yeah, we gotta get home anyways, Zach said, heading up to the door with Liam following from behind. See you all in November, Liam smiled. Bye, everyone said, with the two heading out. Well, Lincoln getting off the couch. I'm gonna go straight to bed to be ready tomorrow. You're still gonna have nightmares, Molly added. I know, but for the most part, it was worth it. He turned to Jordan one more time before heading up. What I was afraid of this whole time is telling you that I'm scared of everything during Halloween. Jordan was taken aback from what she just heard from Lincoln. You mean everything you went through at the... Lincoln nodded in response. I wanted to tell you sooner, but you're completely fearless. Me and Clyde aren't capable of overcoming our phobias no matter what we do. It's true, Lucy added. After learning another truth, she also got off, placing both of her hands on his shoulders. I'm fearless during Halloween, sure, but I'm afraid of seeing you in fear and misery. Lincoln was surprised to learn something new from Jordan. I've never felt this when I saw you from the monitor. The last time I felt that way is when my grandmother almost passed away at the hospital when I was 9. It may have nothing to do with misery, but the feeling is still there. Chloe teared up from hearing about Jordan's grandmother, while Lucy felt impressed. Lincoln may have met her parents earlier this year, but not her grandparents'. I thought that you never had those feelings in times like that. I was never fearless, Lincoln, and you're not one of the only ones. Clyde also got off of the sofa preparing to leave as he picked up his candy bucket. If we attempt to fight a monster, it would have been over. It seems bravery isn't the answer to everything. I guess Lucy was right all along, Lincoln said to himself. Lucy, Jordan turned to Lincoln's sister. Jordan, as much as I like to address it, he took her hands off of him. I need to go to sleep. Good night, everyone. Good night, Lincoln, Clyde replied, heading out the door. Lincoln wasted little time as he headed upstairs straight to his bedroom. However, Jordan and the others turned their attention to Lucy. You were right, she said. About what? Stella added. You being closer to him, really caring about what he feels, Lucy answered. When I saw the photo, you adore giving him comfort when he needs it, when he doesn't know what he has. She got off the sofa and so did Rachel and Molly. Yeah, Jordan smiled. You're right. You did a lot more with him on that day, did you? Emma added. With only girls in the living room, she didn't mind laying her past out a little. I hugged him from behind while we were sitting on the beach, to the point he nearly fell asleep. I placed my hand on his chest to put him in a calmer place, and it worked. So he did the same to me during sunset. That felt really healthy in a charming way. Rachel wrapped her fingers together. I'm not really a hugger, but I'll admit it was wholesome, Molly complimented. Not to mention, helpful when needed. Chloe thought about it. Lucy found Jordan's beach stay more than just happiness. In fact, it could help Lincoln after the night he went through. Maybe he needs what he doesn't know right now, Lucy smiled. He really does actually, Stella commented. It will heal him faster than slower. Jordan looked up at the stairs while in the right is where Lincoln's bedroom is at. He needs more than one hug for one night. She then turned to Rachel, which took her by surprise. Outside in the night, Clyde is only a couple blocks away from his house. He can only get through the night alone, only if the therapy tomorrow will cure his body from his phobia. Clyde turned around and noticed Chloe and Emma catching up to him. Chloe? Emma? I thought you two were heading home, Clyde wondered. We were, but don't you think you need the help right now? Chloe asked. It's getting late. Yes, but we found a way to make you feel better, Emma smiled. And you need more than one of us, Chloe taking Clyde's hand. I'm here for healthy support, Emma taking Clyde's other hand. Trust us. Clyde shook like before, but with a girl he danced along with another girl he wanted to dance with. He blushed with a smile on his face. Okay, he responded. In the hallway from upstairs, the lights had been shut off. Lucy found spare pajamas in yellow and pink for Jordan and Rachel to change into. As Stella and Molly headed home, the three head up in the hallway as Lucy heads to the bathroom to wash off the zombie makeup while changing into her pajamas. You sure he wouldn't mind? Rachel wondered. It's not like Lucy and her roommate Lynn made him uncomfortable. Even if they kept him up all night many times, Jordan replied. I just don't know how you do it well though. It's not that hard, just be in the moment. Jordan slowly and quietly opened Lincoln's bedroom door as she and Rachel saw Lincoln shaking and struggling while trying to sleep. She notices that he's sleeping with his stuffed animal Bun Bun, hugging it tightly, but not enough to escape his nightmares. Jordan and Rachel slowly enter the bedroom, closing the door quietly while placing the buckets of candy by Lincoln's. In Lincoln's nightmare, he kept running away from the vampire and the hounds in the dark forest, even scarier than the haunted woods. No matter what he does, his nightmare will go against him even when finding a perfect place to hide. It's a never-ending forest without safety nor help. Get away from me! He cried with the hounds barking with the vampires hissing. Then the red fog appeared, all in his surroundings as he turned around with the monsters catching up. He tried running faster and faster, and much to his surprise, he got away from them, but not too long as he watched where he's heading to. He saw red glowing eyes even in the red fog. He immediately stopped. Even if what's chasing him from behind disappeared, the worst has yet to come. He shaked harder. The monster's head popped out of the fog, revealing the same monstrosity from the final area from the haunted woods. With his heart pounding, he tried running away, but the nightmare itself made him stay in one place. As the monster got closer to him, Lincoln turned to the monster while more tears fell down on his face. He sat down while covering his face, and just when the monster was about to roar, it disappeared in a magical spark. Soon, the red fog dissipates thanks to the sun from the sky, with the nightmare turning into a peaceful dream in a meadow. Lincoln uncovered his face while looking at the forest turning into a magical forest with harmless animals. Lincoln. He heard his name being called in the distance. He got back up as he followed the sound of the voice, with deers and bunnies looking at him. He found a clean pond with frogs jumping off of lily pads. Lincoln. Two girls came out of the pond, revealing Jordan and Rachel in their swimsuits who've been calling his name. Jordan? Lincoln blinked happily with the bunnies knotting his legs. Rachel? You saved me? No one should be harmed in the forest, Rachel smiled. Even boys who have phobias need health and comfort. Jordan then waved her finger at Lincoln, sparkles of magic switching his clothes into his swimsuit. She took his hand, taking him to the pond while Rachel followed by her side. They swam in the middle of the pond as Jordan hugged Lincoln from the front while Rachel hugged from behind. We're here to be with you forever and ever. She wrapped her legs around Lincoln's while Rachel wrapped hers around the other. With the animals appearing, Lincoln smiled while hugging Jordan, closing his eyes. He felt safe in more ways than one with his dream turning into paradise, thanks to two girls. Back at Clyde's place, in his bedroom, Chloe's hugging Clyde from the front while Emma's hugging him from the back, covering themselves in bed. It wasn't long until Clyde stopped shaking after 10 seconds as he adored it so much. This was a great idea, he whispered in his sleep. Told you you can trust us, Chloe replied. We can keep doing this when you get better, Emma added. Thanks. What about Lincoln? He asked. Girl Jordan and Rachel have taken care of that. Chloe closed her eyes. Back in Lincoln's bedroom, Girl Jordan's hugging Lincoln from the front while Rachel's hugging from the back. Girl Jordan rubbed on Lincoln's head softly to make him feel more comfortable in his dream. Lincoln in his sleep smiles with joy. He nuzzles on Girl Jordan's head, which makes her blush. His dream was getting better as he swam with the two, with the pond turning into an underwater ocean. The two girls turned into mermaids, just what Girl Jordan wanted, playing with Lincoln with dolphins swimming with them. Lincoln hugged Girl Jordan tightly with Bun Bun in between. Girl Jordan, he spoke, which took the attention from Girl Jordan. I love you. Both Girl Jordan and Rachel were shocked to hear what Lincoln just said from his sleep, but it only made Girl Jordan's heart warm with love that she kept for a long time. She pressed her lips on Lincoln's, catching her friend Rachel by surprise. In the dream, Girl Jordan kissed Lincoln with colorful fishes making a heart shape around them. It not only made Girl Jordan a more beautiful mermaid, but it made Lincoln in love with a girl his age. After 10 seconds, Girl Jordan ended the kiss as she hugged Lincoln tightly, nuzzling his head while giving a sweet kiss on him and Bun Bun. You're too good, Rachel smiled. Just stay in the moment. Girl Jordan fell asleep as Rachel leaned closely to Lincoln. Lincoln blushed comfortably with his slumber getting better by the second. He may have had the scariest Halloween in his life, but he still had the best bedtime thanks to his loyalty to Girl Jordan. Lucy, after getting into her pajamas, opened the door, spied on the three sleeping together. She grew a smile led again from watching Lincoln in his happy place. She closed the door as she headed back to her room. Even if she showed Girl Jordan the photo and did the most in the haunted woods, she knows Lincoln still owned it for his own health and heart.